Hello. Every day we are struggling, we are working hard to make ends meet. Every day we go out to work, every day we endeavor to make sure that we make ends meet, we make life on earth here worth living. It's good. In fact, it's good. It's good for us to work, it's good for us to labor. But then, are we just laboring for the things of the earth? Are we just laboring for the things of this life without putting eternity in view, without putting eternity in perspective? Are we just living for this life? But I want to let you know that the things of this life are temporal, they are ephemerals, they are things that do not last. Is this what you are laboring for? Is this what you are spending your whole life living for? My dear brothers and sisters, let us rethink today, because the things that we really labor for are the things that should be of lasting value. The things that we should labor for are the things of eternity. Consider someone that has lived here on earth for the space of 50 years, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years, even 120 years that we are all clamoring for, and that have passed on beyond. How long have they spent in eternity now? They will spend more time in eternity than the time they spent here on earth. Why don't you labor for things of eternity? Why don't you do everything you do with the motivation of eternity in view? Why don't you live for love? Why don't you live for faith? Why don't you live for hope? Why don't you live for joy? Why don't you live for things that bring fulfillment in eternity? Why don't you live for love, which is the greatest of all things? Why don't you strive each day to love your neighbor, to love God more especially, and to live each day with the motivation of eternity in view? Why don't you live each day with love for God and for humanity? Let your words, let your action, let everything you do in words and in deed be in the name of the Lord, and be for the sake of love, be for the sake of the Master, Jesus Christ, and live each day with this goal, with this ultimate purpose in mind, knowing that you will live forever in eternity, and the things of this life and the time you spend on earth here won't be worth comparing to the time you spend in eternity. Why don't you live for eternity? Why don't you live for love? Why don't you live for Christ? God bless you.